and we're ready to rank this year, 2023. It's over.
It's Jover.
It's Jover. It's definitely not in the middle of the month. It's Jover.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Backlog Club for the last time, almost for the first time, for the last time in 2023.
You did it. We did it.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Not late one time, even when it came down to Spider-Man.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
It'll come.
Vacations, guys.
Yeah. But should we just jump right into it? Do we have any reminiscing to do for the year?
Well, we played 11 games.
11. Well, some of us played more, but
we played 11 of the same games this year. And we have decided we're going to do our ranking to see which ones we like best. We've compared our list beforehand, so we kind of know what's coming a little bit.
Some of us forgot a little bit already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you?
I had to remind myself of my own list today, so.
Oh.
I might even change it. I might look at it and be like, you know what? I feel different. Because I wrote this as soon as we were done with Twilight Princess. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we have, like I said, 11 games. We have 11.
Wait,
have 11.
I gotta at least acknowledge the fact that there might be a random screech in this podcast because it very well could be picked up. Apologies.
All right. I'm just saying dishes are being done. Clothes are being washed.
We're professionals.
There it is again, if you can hear it. If you can't hear it, we're going to sound like psychos.
We have acknowledged it. There's nothing we can do at this point. Sorry.
Anyway, what was this? We have 11. No, we have 11 games that we're going to start at 11 and work our way up to 1.
Yep.
As traditional rankings. Well, some people go 1 through 11.
Yeah.
We're just going to go from the ones we like the least to the one we like the most.
Yeah. We got to build the suspense, even though you could easily skip to the end of this. But
and
don't do that.
Some of us will have more to say about certain games than others.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure from our podcasts, you've heard some of our opinions just kind of nothing burgers. Where we're just like, it was a game. It was a game. I played it.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
We did it.
Yeah.
It's over.
Why don't you go first? Age before beauty.
Yeah, I am older. Okay. I won't agree on the last part, but it's kind of obvious. Actually, I feel like people might get my number 11 wrong, but it is without a doubt Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. The complete saga, I would have loved if we played that, but we didn't.
I suggested it.
Yeah, but you also suggested this game, so.
Because you said, well, wait, wasn't there another one? I'm like, oh yeah, the Skywalker Saga.
Yeah, because I hadn't played it yet, and I was like, I want to give it a shot, and I feel like it would have been lame to do both at any point, just because I was like, oh, it'll pretty much be the same game, but then 3 more movies, and I was so far off. I was so wrong. I could not be any more wrong. That game is completely different, and I hate it, and that is why it's at number 11. As much as I love Star Wars, even Revenge of the Sith could not redeem it. The only nice thing I have to say about it is it was fun to do the Darth Vader versus Luke fight in the end of episode 6. But I'm glad that we suffered through it together. But I don't think I would have finished this game had it not been for the podcast.
Yeah, I agree. I pretty much agree with everything you said.
What's your number 11, Jordan?
My number 11, I think by nobody's surprise, or to no one's surprise, is Pikmin 1. I'm sorry, Jake. I know you're going to take that personally. Yeah, well, I do that with a heavy heart, with a heavy hand, because man, that has got to be possibly one of my worst gaming experiences. That was so stressful.
Yeah.
Like, I lost sleep over that game. And I know this sounds like I'm being dramatic. I am not. That was like our first or second. That was like the first one we recorded.
It was
one of the
them,
first.
yeah.
One of like the first.
Yeah, I think that
bunch.
was the first one we recorded.
So like trying to get that done and this was when we were first getting this sorted out, trying to like fit playing that game in to like, normal life schedule.
Yeah.
And then also actually hating it, actually feeling like it was a slog and having to do it alone. That was rough. Like there was not a moment of that game upon reflection, and I've thought about it a lot since then. There was not a moment of that game that I think I actually enjoyed, because it was just I struggle with time management. That game was all time management, so it's just like, oh man, you're throwing water on a grease fire at that point. So yeah, I really struggled with that. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I tried the Wii version. Wii version didn't work. I then switched to the GameCube version, which lacked a lot of quality of life improvements.
Yeah.
But I don't think any newer version of the game would improve my opinion. I literally just think those games are not for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and be like, I think they are objectively the worst video games ever made. I'm saying subjectively, in my opinion, I don't enjoy them. And if you gave me a plate of green beans, which is the food I hate the most, and Pikmin 1, I would eat green beans every single time.
Yeah.
I would do it every single time. I would eat mayonnaise over playing Pikmin 1 again.
Well, yeah, mayonnaise is delicious.
Well, see, and there you go. That's you can have Pikmin 1 covered in mayonnaise.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, that's my number 11. Probably not surprising for anybody.
I should have set you up better. In hindsight, it's like, yeah, I would have told you a lot more tips and tricks. I would have definitely just given you my Switch with Pikmin 1 and 2 on it, because that is so much better than even the Wii version.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even funny. But I only knew the Switch version. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably a little bit better. But
I thought none of it was funny.
Yeah.
I was not laughing at all. Well, I actually was laughing because I was reaching the brink of sanity.
Yeah.
But
it sucks because that's become one of my favorite games of all time now. And this is a new game for me. Like the first time I played it was when they came out on the Switch. And then I was like, yep, we're doing it for the podcast. Jordan's going to love it.
I have a habit of disappointing people. So
At number 10, it's not shocking. It's Ocarina of Time.
Ooh.
Yeah. My favorite thing about that game was the merch that came with it. And if you want to get it, it's right here. You can buy it at retroremaster.com/the Backlog Club, or probably /TBLC. I didn't like that one. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite podcasts we've done, just because the energy was so good for it. And it was our first like real episode. I like the episode more than the game because the N64 just has not aged well for me. So
yeah,
but I also didn't grow up with it. First Zelda game, a lot of confusion. The water dungeon sucks. Go watch for all of these if you want to know more. Go watch those podcasts. They're all out. And I don't know if I've actually said this or we've actually said this in a podcast yet, but we are on Apple Podcasts now. If there's any other listening platforms you'd like us to be on, let us know in those comments down below, along with your rankings.
I think we put it in a comment.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever actually said it.
I keep forgetting to talk about it on my channel, but
if you want us, you know where to find us.
But yeah, glorified ping pong match at the end. That's all I gotta say.
Still so good.
Yeah.
My number 10, which it's very funny. This is probably one of our biggest splits in the list.
Yeah.
Lego Star Wars. Well, actually, no. Having Pikmin 1 and Ocarina of Time is probably one of our biggest splits.
Oh, yeah.
But Lego Star Wars, we do actually find some common ground in our list because that game, while I did enjoy it when I played it solo by myself doing all the collectathon things, it's a fun game to kind of turn your brain off and grind. As a co-op experience and playing it for the podcast, oh my gosh, that was fun because misery loves company, but like that's a bad game. That is a bad game, and I do not remember it being like that. Like I remember it being way more fun than that. But time reveals all, and that game, it was not kind to that game. So like Jake just said, if you want to know more about our thoughts on Lego Star Wars, you want to see us actually tear it apart, go watch the episode if you haven't already, or go rewatch it.
Another one of our better episodes for sure.
Anyway, all right. What is your number 9?
Like, I feel bad for putting this so low, but it's not a bad game. It's just not a game I ever care to go back to. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. It's just, from here on out, it's not necessarily a bad experience, but it wasn't my favorite. As my first Ratchet and Clank game, it just it didn't hit. I don't think it's a good first Ratchet and Clank game because there are so many references to the older games throughout it. I was just kind of lost for a lot of it, but I did like that it was very A to B. I didn't really get lost on what to do. Combat was just kind of meh for me. Not a ton of redeeming stuff, but I didn't hate it. I had a fun time.
Yeah.
That's really it.
I respect your opinion.
Yeah, like Nothing Burger is the word or words. I don't know if that's one word or not.
Speaking of Nothing Burgers.
Yeah.
Okay. My number 9.
Mm-hmm.
We're on 9, right?
Yeah.
It was Kirby and the Amazing Mirror.
Really?
That was a Nothing Burger game for me. Like that was the game I was thinking of when I said that earlier. Because I feel like kind of how you just described Ratchet and Clank, like this was my first Kirby game. I wouldn't say necessarily it's a bad first Kirby game. Well, actually, I would say it is actually kind of a bad first Kirby game because it's obtuse.
Yes.
And it
is nothing like the other Kirby games.
Yeah, it doesn't explain to you how you're supposed to. Well, I mean, you see the cutscene, you see the mirror shattering. You know, you're then using context clues like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to get this back together. But the map is confusing. The level design is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, that one section that we went through where we literally had to figure out how to shoot all the cannons or something. Where we had to shoot the cannons through the spikes. That was weird and unforgiving.
Yeah. Especially over the internet playing multiplayer.
Well, even solo, the game is just brutally punishing in areas where I don't feel like it should be. And also, I'm trying to get used to how Kirby games work, and there are rules that will apply within certain parts of the game, but then all of a sudden don't apply. Like, I didn't really feel there was a ton of consistency, and I just we got to the end of it, and I was just like, okay. I was like, I don't really feel like I need to play another Kirby game.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, well, that's one of the best ones. And I'm like, well, if that's one of the best ones, if not the best one, I know we haven't touched Nightmare in Dreamland.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's...
I feel like it is a good Kirby game, but it's not like a real Kirby game. It's not quite a spin-off, but it's nearing spin-off levels. Because Kirby games are the games you want to play when you're turning your brain off. They're not hard games.
I could not turn my brain off during that.
You need both lobes or all the lobes. I don't know how many lobes you got.
Full frontal lobe.
Yeah.
Activation there.
Every cell in the brain is needed for that game at some points.
You know that movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
I feel like I'd have to be on whatever drug he was in that movie.
Yeah.
In order to be able to NZT or whatever.
That boss fight.
At the end?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing is there are rules there. That boss fight and then also the Mecha Arms boss fight. All of the sudden you can't... how are you supposed to figure out what to do? It gives you no indication
Mhm.
Oh man, I gotta push him into the wall. Also, I can't use my little air puffs that I am as when I jump to damage enemies, even though I've been able to do that to other bosses. I don't get
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, you can see. I don't think he shot really anything at you to.
He did the hand punch,
Yeah,
but
but could you suck that up?
you had to dodge the hand and then get the stars that came off of
Oh,
it.
yeah, and those stars went away like that too.
Exactly.
It's just like, give us a break, man.
Also, the fact that your power ups would just bounce around into the electric wall and be gone. So it means you literally had to play almost flawlessly if you wanted to keep your power up.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
But then, like, that final boss, it's pretty much a 1v1, and the rest of the people are there. And even then,
And they have to try to not suck up the sword and spit it back out, which is
yeah,
stupidly easy to do.
on a 100% save file that I found on the internet, loaded up on an analog pocket with save states, trying to cheese the heck out of the boss fight, I still couldn't do it in like, I only gave it like 30 minutes, but still 30 minutes for a boss fight while cheesing it. I get to what I think it was the last stage, but it was still like, it would have taken so much time, and I
Yeah,
just didn't care. Like, okay,
it was
I'd rather
brutal.
look it up online. One of the few games we didn't actually finish, or really the only one we didn't technically finish.
We both didn't finish.
Yeah. Well, you didn't. I guess you didn't finish Pokemon either.
Yeah, but the my asterisk that I put next to that statement was I have beaten that game
Several times.
several times.
Yeah.
I had to do a late night grind.
Yeah. Anyways,
That's my number 9.
number 8, Twilight Princess. I didn't hate it like I did Ocarina of Time, but it still wasn't a favorite of mine. Another disappointing ending for me. I can't wait till Zelda doesn't disappoint me in the end. And we just recorded that podcast. I don't know. It was fine. I liked a lot of parts of it, and I had enjoyed it more overall compared to the other Zelda game. But it's still just like probably never gonna play it again.
Yeah.
Already played the best version of it. I have a feeling that I'll probably like it more than other Zelda games. It's going to be a long time before we do another Zelda game.
That's true. Well, they only release them once every 8 years, so.
Yeah. But there's a lot of them out already.
Well, there are certain ones I don't even play, so.
Yeah. I think next time we should do a 2D. I'm thinking like Link's Awakening, since I've got that on the Switch. Yeah, go watch that podcast. Go watch all the podcasts. I mean, really. Just
Yeah, it's Christmas break.
yeah, you got time.
Do it.
And since we're on all the listening or two of the listening platforms, you can go just listen to it. Go on your jog or
Do it while you grind your whatever game you play.
I don't know why I was just thinking coffee when you said grind. I don't even drink coffee. But yeah. Twilight Princess.
My number 8 is a fairly new one. Mario Wonder.
Oof.
I've never been like an absolute huge 2D Mario fan.
Yeah.
Aside from Super Mario Brothers 3. Like that's kind of the one that holds the spot in my brain. And Super Mario World is the one that everybody loves, and I agree it's a good game.
Yeah.
But this one, I don't know, man. There were some changes they made, and also just the vibe just felt off. Like there was cool stuff, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's a good game. I probably will never play it again. Same with Twilight Princess. There was not enough new stuff there to make.
Same thing with Twilight Princess?
What? Oh, same thing like with you with Twilight Princess.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was like,
sorry.
I thought that was one of your favorites.
No. No, it is. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, there was not enough there. I know the badges were cool, but there really is only one that's like
worth it.
Worth using.
That we unlocked, because we did not unlock all of them. We still had a whole other sheet of things that were like post game, I'm pretty sure. So
I found the best one. What was it? The flutter jump? Isn't that the one we used? Or was it the high jump?
I think it was the Wasn't the hat one that you get like immediately?
Oh, we didn't use that one. No, we used the extra high jump. I think that was our.
Maybe. Yeah. See, like, if it's been what, a month and a half, maybe, probably like 2 months.
No, it's been 2 months. October 20th.
Yeah.
It was the same day as Spider-Man.
2 months, so we don't remember it. Must be a great game.
Listen, I wasn't captivated by it.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
I thought the wonder stuff was cool, but then again, it just became like, all right, I'm finding the wonder flower to get to the excitement.
Yeah.
Everything else in between was
2D
Mario. Like, again, it is standard 2D Mario fare. That is not in and of itself bad. It's just not new enough for me to have placed it higher on my list.
Yeah.
Compared to the other stuff that we played.
That's
because all of this is, you have to remember, is like in comparison to the other games we played.
Yeah.
Not just like, oh, Mario Wonder overall dookie. No, that's not what I'm saying. Just compared to the other stuff on this list, there are several games that rank higher.
Yeah.
There are like seven actually that rank higher than this one.
It's like 9 through 4 for me are all about the same. Like, there is very little difference in the ranking. If you swapped 4 through 9 around, I probably wouldn't be that upset.
Mm-hmm.
But
they're all solid 7s or 8s to you, right?
6s or 7s.
6 or 7s. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're like, I guess they're good. It's just not like
a 7. So just like,
oh boy, I can't wait to play it again.
Like a 7.
Yeah. 7. Solid 7s. We'll go with that. But my number 7 is Pokemon. Pokemon Red and Blue, to be specific. We did not play Yellow if you didn't watch that, but I think that's our most popular ones.
Weirdly enough, that's my number 7.
Whoa! It's like, I'm a huge Pokemon fan. I've played all of them except for Black 2 and White 2. I don't know. Kanto is a solid region. I'd say it's my second, maybe third favorite region. Sinnoh and Hoenn and Kanto are like right there neck and neck for me. But it's like the originals, they kind of hold up because they have their cute little quirks. But I'd always rather play Fire Red and Leaf Green. Kind of even Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, because I really didn't mind those games. I actually liked them a lot, especially because like shiny hunting in that game, so easy.
Oh, because you could see the Pokemon on the overworld?
Yeah, you literally can just sit there, static, and
and they just walk
up.
around, yeah.
You're like, that Ponyta's blue.
It's a shiny Machop.
Yeah. But it's just, it's good. Not a good starting spot for people if somehow you haven't played a Pokemon game before.
You don't think the first one's a good starting spot?
No, I don't think first game for a lot of series is a good starting spot, even though that's what I like to do a lot of the time.
That's fair. You know what? I agree with that.
Yeah. But
when it's non-story related, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like, especially in Pokemon, it's like they're all kind of the same story. I do agree that like Black and White is probably one of the best stories in Pokemon. I also liked X and Y's story. I liked the Gen 4 story. I just like Team Galactic. I thought that was cool. But yeah. It's like, it's Pokemon. It's good. It's solid. There are better Pokemon games out there though. So I had to put it below the rest of them. But I enjoyed my time, and I'm excited to keep playing Pokemon games because the view count was high. So
that's true. Even though they're all the same. Which is why this first one is my number 7. Because I do love Pokemon. I grew up playing Pokemon. Same as you. My favorite is Gen 3. What region is that?
Hoenn,
yeah. That's the best one. Mudkip, second favorite Pokemon of all time.
Too much water.
7.1, too much water. I think my problem is with going back and playing Pokemon is it just really hammered home how little has changed over the years, that I pretty much had the same experience as X and Y, which I get it. They're all part of the same franchise. They should be similar, but like, come on, Game Freak. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So it was just playing 7. I just, or playing Pokemon. Sorry, I got through it, and it was fun. I actually enjoyed it. I like Pokemon, but it wasn't like a standout experience. I was just like, this is just like playing a Pokemon game.
Yeah. It really felt like just going through the motions.
Pretty much.
Especially when I was playing it while editing. It's like I'm mostly paying attention to what we're saying, so I know when to stop and cut things, but it's like I don't know. When most of the game I can not look at the screen and just hit the same like 3 button combos
Hmm.
to run or attack or go this way. Like, yeah, I don't know. Not a long game, but also kind of, I don't know. It's Pokemon.
It's Pokemon. It's a good game. Just, it's the same game
Yep.
that's been made for 96?
96. So 28 years.
Yeah. Gosh, almost 30 years. Wow.
Yeah, 28 years at the end of February.
Number 6.
Number 6 is Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Like we said, we kind of talked about it enough. I think it's a solid game. I did enjoy it as a Kirby game, like the Kirby aspects of it. And then it's like, I like Metroid and I like that setup. So it was nice. I do think it kind of worked. I'd like to see them try it again, but I doubt that's going to happen. Um, Even just like a remake and like, which might upset some people, but like in the newer style of Kirby, like the look of Star Allies and the look of the Return to Dreamland. Is that what it is? The Wii one that they just put on the Switch, which apparently was also this year. That's how like slow this year has gone for me. I thought that was in 2022, but apparently that was 2023 at the beginning. But that's another great game. But yeah, Kirby's my number 6. Solid game. I don't know if I would play it again, but if someone asked me like, "Hey, you want to play Kirby and the Amazing Mirror together?" I probably wouldn't turn it down,
Just do it
depending
in
on the
person.
gamer. Yeah. Well, that's just another tough thing because I don't know if you can do local multiplayer on the Switch, just because you have to have your own screen. And honestly, I don't know how badly I want to be tethered to someone via link cable. So,
Or you could do it, you could do it over like local connection.
oh yeah,
My number 6, if I can open my iPad, is a Super Mario Galaxy, another one of our more recent ones.
yeah. You know what? Not to cut you off, but can you guess what my number 5 is?
Hey,
So we can combo this one.
it's Spider-Man 2. No, yeah, Mario Galaxy. Again, it's a more recent episode, so I won't go like too in depth. But I was actually just talking about it again with somebody else. I feel like that game is really good, art style wise, and music wise, and atmosphere wise, because the space setting is really really cool. Like it's a very interesting premise.
Yeah.
Um, just when you execute upon the space stuff, for me, the enjoyment fell apart because of the clunky controls. Now, when it's just when you're doing regular 3D Mario levels with whatever the gimmicks are,
Mm-hmm.
totally fun.
Yeah.
Having a blast. But with how often you're trying to walk to the other side of one of the donut shaped or one of the disc shaped planets, and Mario will literally just run in a circle even though you haven't changed your directional input,
Yeah.
that got me killed. There were several times I wanted to quit because I was like, it got me killed and I wanted to quit because it was just ridiculous. That I literally did nothing wrong. I obeyed the rules of the video game and it betrayed me.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's fair. And for that reason, I'm out. No, and for that reason, it's my number 6, and I am confident in that. Mario Galaxy is a good game, but it is held back by its clunky controls when it engages with literally the most interesting part of its level design, which is space.
Yeah. Like you can excuse it a little bit if you're just thinking about it being on the Wii, but when you're thinking about how they ported it to Switch and it's literally just a port with slightly higher resolution, it's like it's pretty disappointing in today's day and age. Like, if it is reworked, if the gravity and the spinning in circles is fixed, then I think this could be. It's hard to beat Odyssey, but this would be my number 2 for 3D Mario.
Well, and that's what people have said about Galaxy 2, which is why I do want to tackle that at some point.
Yeah.
Because people have said that aspect of it, where the controls get all wonky, gets fixed, and it's better.
I want to say someone, because I talked about it briefly on a live stream, and I want to say someone was like, it's the same, man.
Well, if it's the same, then burn them all. I will go back to playing Odyssey.
But we'll be able to spin in circles on Yoshi. So.
Oh, wait. Well, then I'll take it.
Yeah.
Because if I'm suffering with Yoshi, then I'm not suffering alone.
Yeah. We got a friend in him.
That dude can eat. Well, I mean, when he eats us.
Yeah. Nope.
Mom? So, cracking my top 5. These are the ones that I enjoyed the most. 11 through 6 were kind of either I hated them to I thought they were mid to I wanted to like them, but I had a real big problem. But the top 5 are games I like. Obviously, I don't know if you feel the same about Mario Galaxy for you.
My top 3 is my peak. Like,
there you go.
4 through 9 is just like they're all about the same. I feel like my 4 and 5 are better than 6 through 9. But
well, obviously, because you rank them higher.
Yeah, I feel like they're just like slightly tiered above.
That's right. So mine starts at number 5.
Okay.
My number 5, to maybe some people's surprise, is Ocarina of Time. Because playing that game again, I had played it before, but playing it again this year really made me appreciate just how well the world building and storytelling is done, in my opinion. I do, and I understand the critiques you have with it, except the ping pong ball, because we got merch out of that, so
yeah,
it has to be good by default.
Go buy it.
Once I got over the camera issues I was having, and I beat the Stalfos in the Forest Temple because that was painful.
Yeah.
Once I did that, I really started having a lot of fun, and I beat that game quick too. Like once I was grooving.
Yeah.
And I was through it. I remember texting you, and you were like, "How are you done with all 3 of those dungeons that fast?"
Little eye twitch going on.
Yeah, I'm like,
Kind of how I reacted when you pulled up to my house. You're like, "Oh yeah, I'm done with Twilight Princess."
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Well, you were like, "I need the gamepad back. Can you finish it?" And I was like, "Okay, cool, man." I just like Zelda games. All right. Yeah.
It's also easier when you know what to do. So
that's true. I will say I still have to look up every single time how to complete the water temple, because everyone knows that's a mess.
Yeah. Shout out Beard Bear, for real. I can't thank
whoever
that man
you
enough.
are.
Yeah. Hopefully you're a good person, because I'm shouting you out.
Hopefully you're safe in the woods. Ocarina of Time. I love it. It has its issues. It has not aged quite as well as I think people make it out to be. It hasn't aged as well as I think people say it has. That's a better way to put that. But I still love it, and I think it's a great Zelda game. I think the storytelling holds up, and I love it, and I still hate Navi. So
yeah,
there you go. That is my numero 5.
Number 4 for me, the other Mario title that we did this year, Mario Wonder. I still I'm with you on a lot of your points, but I do think it was one of the better 2D Marios. I do want to actually complete 3 in Worlds before I can definitively give that answer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I grew up on New Super Mario Bros. Playing the DS one and the Wii one. I played a lot of those and I enjoyed them. They kind of feel the same. I did go back and play the DS one recently, and that was fun. I still enjoyed it, but it's I don't know. Like I said in the podcast, Mario's, all the 2D Marios kind of just, they're all one and the same for me for the most part.
They blend together.
This DLC has a different power up,
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially, man, you think about Mario Maker, it's very funny. They're just different fonts.
Yes, that's
Like
a
literally,
great way to describe it.
they're just different fonts. Same game, different font.
Yeah, and then it's like for the new Super Mario Bros, it's like okay, this one's italicized and this one's bold, and like
Yeah.
there's even less of a difference. It's not even a completely different font.
I think if Wonder had to be a font, it would be Wingdings
Yeah,
because it's just nonsense.
everybody's gonna be going to Microsoft Word to look up what that is now.
Well, you're welcome.
Google Docs. I'm ancient for saying Microsoft Word.
You never turned in an assignment in Wingdings just for a laugh?
No.
Oh. Well, I always print it off too. I printed off one in Wingdings, the other one in the, the 14-point font, double spaced, Times New Roman.
And then you make all the spaces slightly bigger so it fills the space. And then you accidentally print over your phone in one time in the library in high school, and then it prints to the cardstock printer, and then the librarian's like, "What are you doing? You shouldn't print on this one." I'm like, "I don't know, man. It was just a glitch. Don't yell at me. Stop."
Please stop.
I mean, it's just like a generic experience that everybody's had. It didn't happen to me, but
yeah, I don't know. I think that happened to me too. So I think I was there.
Probably. It was definitely while you were still at school. So
wait, we went to high school together?
What?
We went to middle school together?
Who are you?
Wait.
I know you?
Where am I? I don't know this house.
Yeah.
That's a good. I mean, I understand. Number 4.
It was fun. I wish that it was just all Wonder Seed like, because I only had a lot of enjoyment when we were in the Wonder Seed portions.
Yep.
And I think to really switch up the Mario formula would be to do it in that way, because I think nowadays if you want classic Mario or a new feel of the classic Mario style, go play Mario Maker. Like,
yeah, because people will design levels Nintendo devs will never think of.
And they're good. Or if you want to turn your brain off, Endless Easy is actually a lot of fun.
Also, people will design those levels for free, and they love doing it.
Yep.
Also, they won't have talking flowers in them.
I also do want to say, for Ocarina of Time, I didn't say it for your talking point or mine, but I think it would be a really good game if Nintendo didn't mess it up, if they just fully remade it, which has been a rumor for ages, but it's been popping up more and more now that Ocarina of Time could get fully remade.
From the ground up, Unreal Engine 4?
That would be epic.
Unreal Engine 5, I guess now at this point.
I know some fan project is doing that, and it's like,
there's tons.
You're gonna get shut down, man. I have like almost no sympathy for people who do that. It's like, yes, cool, I get it. I like this game too, but you do realize that everything you're doing, even though it's with passion, is illegal.
Yeah, the problem, I mean, if they do it for free, I feel bad for them because like they're just using their free time to remake something they love.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't see how it hurts Nintendo.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it and then you're like, all right, you can, I'll sell it to you or you can donate. I love when people say you donate and I'll give you access to it. It's like, okay, that's buying something.
Yeah.
That's a purchase.
I'm not going to subscribe to your Patreon to get this game that should be for free.
Subscribe to our Patreon.
We
won't give you a video game, but we'll give you
early love and attention.
My number 4 is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, because I love Ratchet and Clank, but the games that I have left to talk about, I love even more.
Fair.
But I liked Rift Apart so much because that was the first PS5 title that came out that was not only made for the PS5, it was only on PS5, the first like next gen title, or the first party next gen title, I think, possibly.
Yes.
And also, like, it looked next gen. That game is beautiful. It also used the DualSense in the absolute perfect way.
If you have strong fingers.
So yeah, you just like step your grip game up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it. I grew up with Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter and Sly Cooper, like all the Sony exclusives. So to have that franchise continue coming out and still maintain a level of quality, at least for me, and still feel classic, and just harken back to those 3D platformer roots.
Yeah.
Like Spyro and then Ratchet and Clank, where Insomniac started, even as they move on to bigger and better things
that we don't know about.
That we definitely don't know about.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
that we definitely haven't seen anything about.
I just meant Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
But it's just a good game. It's a comfort game for me. I think that's kind of like it is a turn the brain off,
hold the trigger,
use your crazy weapons.
Yeah.
Have your funny writing, your and then for someone like me who played all the games, I enjoy the references.
Yeah.
I do agree though that they are thick. They're dummy thick with references.
Yeah.
And if you haven't played the games, you're not going to know what they're talking about, and you're not going to know what characters they're referencing, and so completely understandable.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a great game, super fun, and I'm glad that Ratchet and Clank is still going strong 20 years later. I think it was 20 years when it came out in 2021.
I feel like it was a solid game. I do have it low, but it's just, I don't know. I want to play another Ratchet and Clank game before I'm like, yay or nay on the series.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know why I'm less willing to try Ratchet and Clank over more Zelda, because I've had 2 mediocre and bad experiences with Zelda, and I'm still like, yeah, I should probably play another one before I am like good or not on Zelda.
Well, you just know that if you ever come out and say that you don't like Zelda games, you're gonna get burned at the stake.
If I have another Twilight Princess experience or less, I'm going to say I don't like Zelda, and I will say it with my chest. I don't know how you do that.
His address is no, I'm kidding.
I'm still a little shocked that you put it that high, though.
Yeah, but like I said, I grew up with Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
It's like it means more to me than Pikmin 1 for sure.
I didn't grow up with Pikmin 1, and it's up there.
And well.
But before we dive into the top 3, I did want to give an honorable mention to Symphony of the Night that I played. And if you were on the schedule and actually playing along with us, thank you. That's what we want you to do. But we ended up skipping that one for the top 5 NES games due to time. But also there was another game that we cut, not due to time, in fact, the opposite of time. We couldn't say enough about Portal.
Yeah. And that's not
usually people
sarcasm?
Say that in a positive way.
They're like, we just didn't have enough to talk about.
Yeah.
Because it's a less than 2-hour game, as proven by the fact that I beat it in less than 2 hours and refunded it.
Yeah. Yet the next game we're going to talk about, we beat in about, it was 2.5 hours. And we have plenty to talk about.
That's dramatic.
But yeah, just shout out to Portal and Symphony of the Night real quick before we get into my number 3, which I think we have the same number 3, Metroid Dread.
No.
Ooh, you have it higher. Ooh, really?
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what your rankings and your reasonings are. But Metroid Dread is number 3 for me. My first complete Metroid game, because I was only like halfway through Zero Mission when this came out in 2021, 2-ish years ago. But still fantastic this time around. I very much enjoyed Metroid Dread. I did get a little lost the first time, but this time it was just go, go, go. I'll get even less lost now because you told me about the butterfly thing or whatever.
Oh, yeah, the Aeon butterflies. Yep.
Yeah, because like I still did get a little lost at some points, but it wasn't nearly as confusing as it was my first go around. But it really isn't that confusing. Amazing Mirror, way more confusing, but.
And we were still using a fan-made map.
Yeah, we had to use a fan-made map.
And we were still getting confused.
Because the in-game map is terrible, but
it's lines and cubes.
We've gone through Kirby and the Amazing Mirror.
Held together with duct tape and glue.
But Metroid Dread is just a phenomenal game. Anything from here on out, I think you should go play. Jordan might disagree with another one in my top 3, but I think all of these from here on out you should absolutely go play.
I'm not saying no one should play it. I'm saying I shouldn't play it.
But that's my number 3. I don't have much to say about it. It's just good. Metroid's good. Metroid Dread, great game. Phenomenal game. Jordan, do you have anything to say about it? Or do you just want to wait till you eventually
I
say
will
it?
wait till I get to it because I'm going to talk about my number 3. And these entries, these next 3, are like some of my favorite entertainment franchises of all time.
Yeah.
The number 1, as we saw, far and away is my favorite fictional thing of all time. But sticking at number 3, Twilight Princess. Now, I completely understand you went from Ocarina of Time to Twilight Princess. You're not a huge Zelda guy. I get it. I get your frustrations.
Yep.
Now, this is my time. So Twilight Princess was the first Zelda game I've ever played. It was very influential for me in helping me discover what my tastes were in video games. Figuring out I like darker fantasy action adventure games, and I don't know. There's just something so intriguing about that game, and it has like its fingers in my brain. Like, I compare every Zelda game that comes out back to Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
I loved Tears of the Kingdom this year. Yeah. Absolutely loved it. I don't know if it's my favorite over Twilight Princess. I literally do not know. I can't decide. I love and I won't say I love them both equally because I know that's not true. But Twilight Princess has such a stranglehold on my brain that it's just, I think about it probably once a week. There are that cutscene after the Lakebed Temple where they explain like how the Kingdom of Hyrule came to be or something. Talks about the interlopers and Link has like white eyes.
Yeah.
Scared the crap out of me as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the other thing is that was kind of the first game where I was terrified, but I pushed through. It was very rewarding. I don't know. I have a lot of emotion wrapped up in Twilight Princess. And so that's why out of the games we played this year, it is my number 3. Honestly, I feel like as a Zelda game, it's literally perfect. It's the perfect A to B, the combat, the fights, the characters, everything about it, I love.
Yeah. I can agree with the A to B. I love that.
This is one of the few games that when I play it, and I didn't do it for the podcast because I didn't have time, but when I sit down and I decide I'm going to play Twilight Princess every couple years, I do everything.
Yeah.
Everything in that game because I love it. I specifically space it out so that I'm not going to be like, oh, this is such a slog. No, I love it every single time.
I will never 100% a Zelda game ever. I don't think there will ever be a game in the Zelda franchise that I'm like, I need more of it. But who knows? There's still a lot of Zelda games left for me to play. I don't even 100% games that I enjoy like thoroughly. So I don't think I've even done 50% or more on a Metroid game, and I love Metroid. So I'm just, get me to the end, baby. My number 2 is Pikmin 1. Love the game.
I will say nothing. I'll let you have this moment.
I love those little guys. Those little men are amazing. Olimar's a cool dude.
He's an idiot.
But we're Louis haters here. Louis ruins everything in the next one in subsequent games. But, dude, in Pikmin 4, I just gotta say, if it wasn't for Spider-Man 2...
why has he got a weird head?
Yeah. Pikmin 4 is my game of the year this year. But Spider-Man 2 was too good not to spoil my number 1, but we're almost there anyways. I love Pikmin. It's become one of my favorite franchises. I've played all of them except for Hey Pikmin. But even though it's got a really bad rap, I still want to play it because I'm addicted to Pikmin. And I will always, always, always want to go back and play Pikmin 1 over and over again. That's a new comfort game for me. Jordan's upset. Jordan doesn't like it.
I just didn't know that Pikmin 4 was in the running for that, but
See, I was just saying how I don't 100% games that I thoroughly enjoy. That was so good. It is 100%. There's nothing more I can do in that game besides just replay other things. It is a 100% save file, and it was a lot of hours. I will put the screenshot up here if I find it. But man, loved Pikmin 4. Love Pikmin 1. Go play the series. Give it a shot. Pikmin 1 definitely is one you should start with, but don't play GameCube or Wii versions. Play the Switch one.
So my number 2, I think we've already mentioned it, is Metroid Dread.
Yep.
Literally think that's one of the best Metroidvania games ever made. That came out of nowhere and has no right being that good, but oh my gosh, the chills I get during certain scenes in that game, man, that is probably next to Zelda my favorite Nintendo franchise, and it's the one I thought they've forgotten about Metroid Prime 4, but I have my own theories, my tinfoil hat theories about what they're doing with that.
Switch 2 launch title.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Because Retro was like, we got all we could out of the Switch for Prime Remastered. So, but yeah, Metroid Dread, a phenomenal experience. It controls so well. The set pieces are beautiful. The art style is beautiful. Some of Samus's best designs in the entire franchise. Some of the best bosses in the franchise. I think the best final boss in any Metroid game ever in Ravenbeak. But yeah, a phenomenal game. Only topped by one other thing we played this year. But Metroid Dread was... I mean, I take that game every time I go on vacation. I go on a trip. Like, I take it on planes. I go everywhere with that game.
Yeah.
Because it's
good.
It's so good. Man, the Shine Spark puzzles, 100%ing that game was also so rewarding because it's just so good. Like and when I ran out of things to do and I had to go fight the final boss, I was a little sad but happy because it was like, I'm going to fight the final boss, but I'm also like, dang, there is nothing left.
Yeah.
There is nothing left in this game, and it is phenomenal.
I hope Metroid 6 isn't too far away.
Yeah, well, they let them cook. Take whatever time they need, but also please, I need more.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my number 2, man. Number 1's a combo.
Yeah, it's the one game we haven't said. Neither of us said it. It's both our number 1s. You should have seen it coming because it's in the title of the podcast. Spider-Man 2 was our game of the year. It is our game of the year for the podcast. It's our game of the year for the year 2023.
Yeah.
It's probably the game of the decade.
I think the actual game of the decade is Baldur's Gate 3, but that's a whole separate conversation.
No. I'm just jealous.
I know. I feel bad for Insomniac right now. Let's say that.
Moment of silence for them.
1.3 million files were leaked.
Terabytes.
But you know what? Props to them for not ponying up the dough.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say this. I want to put this out there because I've seen a lot of discourse talking about. Let's address the other Marvel superhero in the room, Wolverine. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, this game looks bad." Anytime you see a game that is that far in development, that is literally pre-alpha footage, like there's not a finished, put-together build of the game yet, it's not going to look great. It never does. And judging it based off that, I know people are going to do it, but it's not fair. And saying, "Oh, this looks bad." Yeah, it's not supposed to be shown. You're not supposed to see it. You're literally never supposed to see this until the finished product comes out.
Yeah. But if this was like 20 years down the line and it was like found footage, people would be like, "Oh, this is so cool."
Exactly. Oh, you can see where this led into this.
Yeah.
So I know that's off topic, but that's been bothering me. I've been seeing that discourse where they're like, "Oh, well, all of this looks bad."
People online are dumb. What?
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. I keep having faith in them, but they keep disappointing me.
Yeah.
I did think it was hilarious how Insomniac Games made a $567 profit on Sunset Overdrive, which explains why we didn't get a second one.
Yep.
So, thanks everyone. But also like that led to Spider-Man. So,
Yeah.
which then led to Spider-Man 2, which is far and away. I know a ton of people will disagree with this because I know that the discourse on this game has soured a bit. I still think this game is phenomenal.
Mhm.
I think its length is perfect. I think quality is better than quantity. Now, I am eagerly awaiting that New Game Plus patch that's coming out that they just said is coming early 2024 now. But I still think that game is a phenomenal take on the symbiote story. I literally cannot wait to see what Insomniac does next with Spider-Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I really know anything, I guess, at all.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm an addict when it comes to Spider-Man. I can't help myself. Far and away, my favorite fictional character of all time.
Yep.
Sometimes I even believe he's real. But yeah, it's such a good game. I think I platinumed that in like
30 hours.
It was like a 32-hour. I grinded and it was phenomenal. I can't get enough. I still will boot up that game even while I'm supposed to be playing other games for the podcast. And I'm like, you know what? I need to decompress. And I spend like 30 minutes just listening to music and swinging around because the web wings, that traversal system,
it's just good.
It's just so good. And then the combat with the symbiote powers is so good. It's everything I wanted out of a black suit Spider-Man in a video game. It's better. It surpassed Web of Shadows in my opinion.
Yeah.
I
think it's just the best piece of Spider-Man content ever.
We'll see how
everything.
We'll see how the Spider-Verse trilogy shakes out. All right.
Yeah.
I'll hold my breath on that. I got to see how it concludes because we left on a cliffhanger.